Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lost in the Farmer's Market, where today we are looking at this unique and flapjacky plant over here. I mean, look at this thing. It's just sort of dangling out of the pot. It's going all over the place. What is this thing, you ask? This thing that you are looking at, this thing. This plant scientifically is known as Kalanchoe thrysiflora, specific variety, Flapjacks. More commonly called paddle plant, because if there was a plant that epitomized that old Simpsons meme, that's a paddlin, this one would be it. It is in the Crassulaceae family, which is the Stonecrop family. Crassula being things like Jade Plant and so forth. The genus name itself is from its mangled Chinese name, Kalanchoe specifically. Thrysiflora is from the word thrys, flower shape, and flora, flower. Now, usually what happens with these things is they flower once and then the main stalks die. And this, I don't know how old this plant is. It was donated to the gardens about 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been bringing it in and taking care of it ever since. And it's a nice plant. It's just a little weird looking. Now, it's native to South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, and eastern Swatini. Swatini! I feel like I need to be attacked by sand raiders. No, sand crawlers. Have the Jawas come out after that one. It is hardy in zones 10 through 12, but otherwise was considered a houseplant. We're in zone 8B, so not so much. There's no notes on its soil pH, but it prefers dry, well-drained soil, so I'm going to presume regular, nearly pH-neutral potting soil for not general purpose potting soil should be appropriate for this plant. And it's going to, with age, dangle out like this. This is actually normal, I might point out. The old leaves drop, and then you get the new growth, and eventually this guy will bloom, and that'll be something else. Now, I just want to point out before I go any further that the height and width seems a little off, because it says the height is 1 foot to 2 foot 6 inches, and I'm assuming that includes the flower stalks. Additionally, the width is 9 inches to 1 foot 6 inches, which, again, if you look at this one stalk here and consider that it goes all the way over here off screen. Hold on, let me turn this a little bit. It goes all the way over here, and this one's wrapping around here. I'm not so sure that's accurate either. I think that's just a general estimate. I'm not really sure. But this plant is, the paddle plant is also known as Flapjacks, which we know. Dog tongue, which, was someone doing drugs when they came up with that one? Because I don't know any dog that has a tongue that looks like that. But also desert cabbage, which I could kind of see. Now, interestingly, this plant, as I mentioned, is monocarpic. As it dies after flowering, plants take 3 to 4 years to mature and flower. Now, I've had this plant for about 2, maybe 3 years, and then the previous owner gave it to me, and I don't know how long they had it. So it might pop off anytime soon, which would be kind of cool, honestly. Now, it's generally propagated by offsets or leaf cuttings, which means basically leaf cuttings is... Die, mosquito. Leaf cuttings would be snapping off one of these guys here and then sticking it in the soil and letting it root. Offsets would be cutting off a piece like this and then dipping it in the rooting powder hormone and then letting that root. Usually the main stalks will die, and then the side shoots, if left to its own devices. The main stalks like this will die off after they bloom, and then these little side shoots will take over, and that's how it self-propagates. Now, the flower spikes, as I mentioned before, can add up to 30 inches to plant height. So, again, that height is probably mostly flower spike. But we'll see, and I'll do an update video for that. Now, this is an interesting houseplant that is low care. You water it sparingly. You don't want it to have wet feet. You want its potting soil to drain appropriately. If you think it's going to be watered too much, you add sand so it drains faster. I maybe water this thing once a week outdoors, maybe, if it's been really hot and dry. Otherwise, I don't bother. And it seems to be doing just fine. The one thing it cannot tolerate in our climate is frost. We get a little too cold. We get way too cold in the winter for it, so you have to bring it in, or you have to protect it from temperatures below freezing, because it has no frost protection whatsoever. Off screen you can't see it, but I'm being attacked by a hairball. Maybe you can hear the jingly janglies. Anyway, so that is paddle plant for you. It's an interesting but weird houseplant that can go out in the garden in the summer, and then when and if it blooms, it's definitely a statement. It's definitely a statement for your garden. So, if you have any thoughts about paddle plant, please put them in the comments. If you've grown this plant, perhaps if you know any weird varieties or cultivars or what have you, please put them in there. I should point out that this yellowing that it's got going on is probably due to sun exposure. I'm not really sure. But anyway, the blog is updating, and if you like this video, please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow. As always, folks, keep them growing, and thanks for watching.